I literally become a Clemson fan for one night. The one time I cheer for you guys, and y'all can't get it done against Notre Dame.
Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, Coach, Coop, the Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show. The Coach Coop Show.
I guess this is what happens when Coop cheers for the Clemson Tigers. You know, it's really what I get. I cannot believe. I know. People are going to hop down in the comment section. They're going to say, but Coop, Trevor Lawrence, listen, it's not like Ugalele played that bad of a game. Look at his stats. He threw for over 400 yards, which breaks the record for most passing yards against Notre Dame. I think he threw for 2 touchdowns and rushed one in. Now, I know that he took the back-to-back sacks in the second overtime, which, you know, Trevor Lawrence maybe sure he showed a little more poise in that moment over Ugalele. But I just cannot believe that Notre Dame is probably going to win an ACC championship before the Miami Hurricanes. Now, the only person to blame in this scenario is us. We should have taken care of business against Clemson, and then maybe this would have set up a Miami-Notre Dame matchup in the ACC championship, which would have been a much cooler game. Who really wants to see a Clemson versus Notre Dame rematch in the ACC championship game? I mean, come on now. And I don't make videos on opposing teams, especially opposing teams playing opposing teams. It's just not my style. It's not what I do. But I can't believe that I'm sitting here saying that I cheered for Clemson. I wanted you guys to win so bad, and you couldn't flip and get it done. I still can't believe it, with or without Trevor Lawrence. Against Notre Dame. Why? I'll probably be the only Miami YouTuber that is this upset. As much as Miami wanted Clemson to pull it out because we wanted to have another opportunity, even if we felt like we were going to get crushed, we wanted another opportunity, darn it, later in the season. And I think that this ruins Clemson. You ruined everything. I'm blaming you. Just go over here and look. I realize that Clemson just lost, but y'all, I'm telling you, Clemson ain't losing to Florida State. Clemson ain't losing to Pitt. And they sure as heck are not losing to Virginia Tech. So you know what that means? We already know what that means. Notre Dame ends up probably with no losses. Clemson has the one loss to them. It sets up the rematch in the stinking ACC championship game. I'm literally just still sitting here in disbelief. I can't believe it. To be honest, I'm not even going to sit here and cover stats. This was more, I just wanted to vent for 2 or 3 minutes and see my Miami Hurricanes family reaction down in the comment section. 47-40, double overtime game. I'm still just in shock. I said that even if Miami made it, we still probably wouldn't win the second time. But the last thing I wanted to see ever was Notre Dame competing for an ACC championship. Coop, calm down. You're being dramatic. You're repeating yourself a lot. But I just can't. I can't stand the thought of it. Honestly, for a couple of reasons. Number one, again, Notre Dame competing for an ACC championship game, period. Number two, potentially Notre Dame winning an ACC championship game before Miami, which, by the way, I know is our fault. And number three, the fact that they're going to force me to cheer for Clemson 2 times in the same year. I never want to root for Clemson, and now I'm doing it 2 times in the same year because if the ACC championship game is Clemson versus Notre Dame, I want Clemson to win it, and I can't believe those words are leaving my mouth, cheering for another team to win the ACC championship game. But I sure as heck don't want it to be Notre Dame. So that's it, y'all. I was so upset. I just realized that my overlay is still on the screen when I transitioned over from my stream on Friday night, but I don't even care at this point. I'm not re-recording anything. I'm not editing anything. I don't think that Notre Dame loses to Boston College, UNC, Syracuse, or Wake Forest. They run the table on the rest of their games, and it's a rematch against Clemson. That'll be the tail of the tape, the big hype story. Clemson versus Notre Dame, rematch in the ACC, but this time Clemson has Trevor Lawrence. Does it make a difference? Can they get revenge? Does Notre Dame come in? They get put in the ACC with all of this COVID stuff going on, and then they run the table undefeated and win the ACC championship game and go to the playoffs and maybe make a run for the national championship. Makes me sick to my stomach.